everyone, I thought I would start off today by showing y'all my little coven here. I try to get like 1 or 2 witches a year, and I try to get them in different colors. And then those little owls are snow owls from Grandin Road. They're actually from the Christmas collection, but they have white owls out for Halloween. So I'm just going to reuse those. And today we're going to focus on her, which is the witch that was in the supply video that is cheaper. Don't catch my purple one. There we go. And she looks it with these little pearl looking things and little bows. She doesn't look quite as nice as those ladies. And if y'all watch Sons of Anarchy, she looks like Gemma, which is Katie Seagal, for those of you that don't. So I'm going to show you how to customize your Halloween props. We're going to take her little $14 Ross witch, and we are going to jazz her up. Here she is, the little witch. She was $13.99 at Ross. So let's get that off of there. And what we're going to do is fancy her up, because right now she looks cheap. She's got little pearl buttons that don't look like very Halloween-y. Alright, so I'm going to remove the broom so we can get better access. We're going to take these pearl button things off. I also don't like this, I don't know, like carnation looking flower. One of my other witches that was sitting next to her does have a flower, but it's a black rose, so I don't have a problem with that flower. It looks Halloween-y. This bow is actually cheap looking too. I don't like that. We could do better. So I'm going to work on deconstructing her, and we're going to add detail so that she looks like a more pricey witch. To rework a witch, you just need whatever embellishments you'd like to see on her. So you can use ribbon, sequins, you can attach spiders, anything like little plastic pieces and bits that you can add on. So, took off her buttons, took off the bow, took off the carnation thing, and she's got spider webs and spiders on the fabric here that's on her dress. So I'm actually going to take and add more spiders to her to kind of stay with her theme. So I'm going to get out my little spiders, my little 69-cent spiders. And there were a ton in this bag, if you haven't realized, because I've used them for a lot of projects. That's that. And then I've got different ribbons here that I purchased from Dollar Tree. There's some mesh, some ribbon that I got out of the tote that I got last year. I've got a couple different options, but I want to try to rework her with the items that I have. So first, I'm going to use the blingy spider, because I've got one of these left. And I'm either going to do there, which honestly that looks like a little bit like too much like a belt buckle. But we could do here, and that's actually a pretty nice little embellishment on her hat. Just got to see if I want it positioned this way or that way. That'll cover up all the stuff that I tore off of her hat. And you can just attach this with hot glue. Trust me, that's all they did. And by they, I mean the manufacturer. So I'm actually going to turn it up. So I'll add a little bit of hot glue on the back of the spider. Clean up the little strings there. And just press it on exactly where they had the other embellishment. So I'm going to hold that down just for a few seconds to attach. Alright, so that's the first change. So she's got a little spider embellishment, which is a little more Halloween-like than this stupid carnation thing. And then for this center area, I'm going to play around with either changing it to black, which if you see, the other ribbon's a little bit bigger, so if I could position that right in the center, it would actually look like she has more of like a two-tone belt than just the black or the red. Or I've also got some sequin. This was also from Dollar Tree. And I could also even do some sequins around there, but being that she has sequins already kind of up here, I think I'm just going to do the ribbon. So I'm just going to cut the ribbon to fit. Her little arms back. And then to attach the ribbon, I'm going to use the hot glue again, and like I'm showing you here, it's the same thing they do. This is why she's a cheaper witch, because they just hot glue everything on. Your more expensive witches are going to have items sewn on. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue in the same spot they did. And the center of the ribbon, just press down. Make sure that's attached, and try to line it up centered so I can use that red line, which is the effect that I'm trying to go for. And I'm going to do the same thing around the back. Sorry if it's a little hard for you guys to see this. A nice long line. And bring that around back and attach. And same thing, just hold that down a few seconds. Alright. So, this is how she's looking so far. And what she also needs, stuff on my craft table here, is her boots are also very plain. So they're going to need something. Well, that's her so far. So with her boots, since she has just lace and they're plain, but she's got the sequins the other spots, we'll add some sequins to the boots. And I'm not quite sure how yet. I think I may want to do a stripe, kind of how that is. Could even do down the seam of the boot. A couple different options. So same thing, and attach glue, a little bit of hot glue on the back of the boot so it's not as noticeable. And then you can take your sequin strip and lay it down, press it till the hot glue dries. Clean off all that junk. And then you're going to take your sequins, make sure they don't get twisted up because they are notorious for doing that. And what I would suggest if you're using sequins is to hot glue the end down first and then cut, because they tend to fall apart. So I've got that pulled around, letting that dry. So she got a little bling bling on her boot. And then once you cut your sequins, put a little dab of hot glue on the edge of that. Again, the sequins like to slide off. That's going to help it stay on. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side, so you're going to try to line it up as best you can. There we go, we got little embellishments on our boots now. Alright, so she's going to be continued, because what I would like to do, and I will have to go to the store for them, because I can't find the ones I had left from my last project is we're going to add the bling bling little like rhinestone things to her outfit so it matches this, and we'll add a little embellishment here as well. But that's how she looks so far. Got the belt, got her little sequins on the boots, and then I will return. Okay, so we have the little blingies, and I got different sizes so I could do things like the buttons and also have smaller ones to add to her shoes. And these are going to be glued in the same spot that the original black buttons were. Okay, so I replaced the black buttons with the little blingy ones, and then I'm going to add some more ribbon detail around, and I'm going to put a design that's going to be in the small blingies on her boots to dress those up as well. We'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay, we've got the buttons added on, and then on her boots I took the smaller gems and then I just spaced them out to give that a little nice detail too, since they were pretty plain. The next thing I'm going to do is, since I usually have a lot of layered fabrics or tassels or ribbons on the more expensive witches, I'm going to take my Dollar Tree ribbons here. I've got the solid black, and then I have the opaque black, and I'm going to take the hot glue and then I'm going to glue at the very top underneath the sheer spider webbing, and just have the ribbons hang down. I'm going to alternate between the solid and the opaque all the way around to give her some more layers. Once I do that, I'll be back again. Right, I have the ribbon glued. And so I just did it at the tops here. I just glued it at the top so that it can just lay down on the skirt. You see the solid, the opaque, and the solid. And then the final thing that I'm going to do is, since we have blings up here and blings down here, but all this is red and black, is I'm going to take the smaller little blings, and the pattern on the sheer fabric is little spiders and spider webs. So I'm going to put a little tiny gem in the center of each of the spider webs all the way around, just to give her a little more shimmer. That'll be our final touches, and we'll be done. So I'll do all that, show you the finished product, and I'll be back again in a few minutes. Okay, I went around all of the different spider webs on this fabric here and added the little jewels in the center. So she's all done. We've got our little sequins and gems on the shoes, and then we've got all the ribbon coming down between the fabrics just to give it a little more detail, and then the little gems on the skirt, the gems exchanged for the buttons, the bogon in exchange for ribbon, and then we have the detail of the spider up here, since she has a spider versus that mum flower looking thing. So doesn't take too much time. She just looks a little more like she belongs in my little coven over there. Alright, so here she is. Gemma Witch is all done and added with the others, and her little additional details and her little blingy boots make her now fit a little better with all of her sisters. So I will see you guys again next week.